Hi guys, it's Daisy from Yoseka Stationery and welcome to today's video. I'm filming today our video out of our event space Yoseka Land, which is located across the street from our store, Yoseka Stationery in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I'm here at our event Planner Marche, 2026 Planner Marche, which is a showcase of over 100 different planners. And I thought I would do a video today on Bushimen's PAL Planner because Bushimen actually sent us a usage sample of how she uses the PAL Planner, which is a planner that she created a few years ago. And I thought, what better way to see how to use a PAL Planner than to literally see how the creator uses the PAL Planner. So in today's video, I'll just be doing a little brief explanation of PAL Planner and then showing you some of the usage sample pages that Bushimen created for us. A little bit of background on the PAL Planner. It is a relatively new planner in the world of planners. We've had planners like Hobonichi and other brands like Travelers that have been well established and used by people in the planner community for many years. But the PAL Planner really only came on the scene in 2023 when the planner influencer Bushimen actually decided that she wanted to create her own planner for exactly how she uses her planner. So along came the PAL Planner. PAL stands for Plan and Log, P-A-L, Plan and Log, PAL Planner. And Bushimen is a content creator, like influencer in the journaling planning community. And she's actually Chinese. So a lot of her videos and a lot of her content has Chinese writing or Chinese speaking in them. So some of them might be a little bit like not so accessible to people here in the US. So I thought, you know, I really love this opportunity to show how Bushimen uses the PAL Planner in this video while we have like what she's written in English, and obviously I'll be explaining it in English as well. So here's the PAL Planner. It is a weekly planner and it has a really unique philosophy behind it, which I'm excited to show you all. So the PAL Planner, these are like little signage plaques that we've prepared around the event, but I'm gonna read this little explanation of PAL Planner philosophy that Bushimen sent us, and I think it perfectly encapsulates like what PAL is. So it says, PAL Planner is designed to move with your life, not against it. It brings structure when you need it and freedom when you don't. Some days are full and others are quiet, and that's okay. Plan clearly, live fully. So I kind of loved that. I wanted to share it with you all. And as I was saying before, the PAL Planner is all about planning and logging. Planning means basically making your list of things that you want to do before you start your day. And then logging really means kind of logging what you're doing as you're doing it or after your day, like things that you've definitely already done. And we all know that when it comes to planning and logging, things don't always go to plan, so that's why there are terms for plan and log. So without further ado, let's take a look at how Bushimen uses her PAL Planner. Okay, so here's what the PAL Planner looks like. This is the 2026 version, and let's begin to flip through the pages and just look at some of the layouts. A fresh new start is how it begins. And like many planners, it has these like year at a glance kind of views, which are always super useful for if you're trying to look many months ahead and seeing, oh, what day of the week is, I don't know, February 17th, 2027. It's so far in advance, but you just go right here to see what day of the week it is. Then it does have this kind of like this other year at a glance view where you can write in people's birthdays or holidays for planning very far in advance. Then the bulk of the planner is actually going to be these pages here, which are what the PAL Planner weekly layout looks like. And before each of the 4 weeks of that month, you do have this sort of monthly page as well. You get it at the beginning of each month. So this is what it looks like for January. And then once January actually begins, you start to go into the weeks like this. So let's take a look at how Bushimen uses that monthly page. Okay, so this is obviously June 2026, and this is how Bushimen uses her monthly page. And I kind of like, it's kind of crazy exactly how much is going on in this usage sample. Like she has really done it to highly detailed, and I just love to see like the maximum of how much you're able to do on just 2 pages of paper. Of course, I think like you don't have to use it this way. A lot of people aren't going to use it this way, but this is all of the features that Bushimen designed if you do want to use it this way. So this is the month, and you can kind of see like all that's going on. She's doing a lot of tracking on this side of the page on this layout. So you can really see like this layout is really, really perfect for tracking. And she writes here all of the things that she's going to be tracking this month: walking, yoga, strength, stationery, eating out, shopping, and then obviously you color in the little, like, you have the dates of June over here, and you color it in for the block where you actually did the thing. So walking, 19 out of 30 days, yoga, 19 out of 30 days, and then for reading and sleeping, this is interesting, she has kind of a time tracker. So each little block here for reading is 20 minutes, and she does a little tracker of how much time she read each day. I think that's great. Such a good idea. And then for sleep, she has assigned each little block 2 hours over here, a value of 2 hours. And then she's kind of tracking how much sleep she got over the month of June. This is obviously like a hypothetical, but she's tracking how much sleep she got over the month. And you can kind of visualize the graph of it over here, which I thought that was really cool. Then on this side, you can either continue to use it to track more things depending on how much you're tracking, or you can write in your highlights. So for instance, she's doing some traveling over here. She posted new videos, which I'm sure if you are a content creator, if you are like posting a new video, that is definitely a highlight that, or like an accomplishment that you want to note down in your monthly overview. So this is kind of an example of how she would use that. And then I love this little mood tracker that she has going on the right side over here, where she just colored in a block and then put in like a little smiley face for how she felt on a certain day. And then on the typical sort of like monthly block layout over here, we see some color coding for the actual trips that she's taking. So some of it is repeated information from this layout to this layout, obviously dates that are of note, and then over here she is counting the steps, her daily steps. So that is an example of how Bushimen uses these like monthly pages. Then let's take a look at how Bushimen actually uses her weekly pages, because these are the bulk of the planner, and most of the pages are these weekly pages. So it's going to be super interesting to see exactly how Bushimen uses the weekly pages. So this is a lot going on this page, but I'm going to break down for you exactly like what's going on here. So as you can see, well, maybe I'll show you guys a blank one first. As you guys can see, this is what the weekly page looks like when it's blank. So you basically get Monday to Sunday, and you get a little box for each day of the week with a dividing line. And that dividing line is where you make the distinction between plan and log. So Bushimen has actually sent us 5 different examples of how you might use these little weekly boxes. So let's look at each one. So here in this first one, number 1, she says, mark to-dos by time on the left and record what happened on the right. And I think this example is really like exactly what she had in mind when she designed the PAL planner, because it's plan and log. But let's take a closer look. So here you can see on the left, she's planning to do meeting prep, email, and then taking planner photos. And then on the right side, she's logging what actually happened. So where she planned to do meeting prep, she is actually doing the prep, and there's a little bit of a time as well. So there's 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 6:30 p.m. And where she was supposed to do an email, she had a Zoom meeting as well. And she actually went to like the cafe with her friend, for instance. Then where she was supposed to take planner photos, she did take photos. And she also took a Pilates class, did some reading, and that's kind of like what her day was. Let's take a look at the next example. So number 2, it says, turn the book sideways and suddenly the space feels bigger. So if we turn it sideways, you can also use each box horizontally, and you kind of just get more space to write a little bit. Since it's, horizontal, we want to write more horizontally. And this is her timeline for the day, actually. So she's doing morning pages, her meeting at the office, working on a new display, doing live streaming at night, and then kind of using this bottom for like more space. Okay, the next way is number 3. She's using the left, a special section, and the right, the day's log. So here she's logging on the right what happened that day, and on the left, instead of doing that more rigid plan where you're like planning what you're doing, you can also just kind of create a special section for whatever you want. So here she's logging her input, which is basically what she read, what she listened to, I guess her like language study over here. So you can do it that way as well. And let's look at number 4. Here she says left 2 special sections, right only the hours you want to log. So that's another way you use it, where you divide the left into 2 special sections. Here she's making a shopping list, she's logging her meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then she's only logging the hours that she actually wants to log, with morning pages, yoga, cooking, YouTube, reading. And number 5, here she's splitting up by to-do list and done list. So that's another way to kind of think of that box, to-do list and done list. And then number 6, you can also kind of use the box more generally as just a box for you to journal within. So let's look at how Bushimen does that. Here, number 6, a mini journal with photos. So she puts in a little photo and she says, I really love the PAL Planner cover with the silly gotcha and Osaka Expo pen. Just seeing them makes me smile. So cute. So it's a little photo with like just a short little thought on it. And then lastly, the last example is number 7, write absolutely anything you like. It's your day. So that's true, you know, like you can do whatever you want with it. It's your day. You can use it however you want. So here she's kind of writing a highlight of the day in. October 4th is when Planner Marche began at Yoseka. And here are kind of all the things that she wants to do. PAL Planner flip through, try out the PAL Planner, write a note down in the book for us. And then here is kind of some other ways she's filling the space. And she also writes, one other way she uses it is by coloring in the block for the day. Filled means done, empty means not yet. So I guess you fill in the color once you're done and you've moved on for your day. So it's kind of like some people on the monthly overview, they cross out the day once the day is passed. So this is like another way to do that, while instead of like crossing out something, you're just coloring it in, which I kind of like the idea of, because I think we all tend to hoard our memories a little bit, don't we? So like crossing something out is a little bit like anxiety provoking for me. So I like the idea of coloring it in. Okay, so there you have it. That was a flip through of the usage sample sent to us by Bushimen, who created the PAL Planner. It was first released in 2023, and now we are on the 3rd year of PAL Planner. I hope this usage sample provided by Bushimen gave you some ideas on how to use either the PAL Planner or perhaps another planner, but you can see how much functionality there is in the PAL Planner, but it's also, like she likes to remind us, it's your day. It can be unstructured or it can be as structured as you want. So I kind of like how flexible and versatile the PAL Planner is in that way. Shout out to Bushimen for sending us this usage sample that shows us how to use the PAL Planner, and let us know in the comments if you use the PAL Planner in a similar way, or if this video gave you some ideas on how to use your planner. Thanks for watching. Bye.